It doesn't cost a lot, it's made of rubber and it's a vital part of your engine. But if it ends up breaking, it could give you a very nasty surprise in the wallet department. What I'm actually talking about is this little chappy here, which is found underneath your bonnet, the cam belt. One of the key things the cam belt does is keep the valves away from the pistons. Even people who think they know about cars can get caught out by not replacing it. With today's high-tech multi-valve engine, a broken cam belt can mean bent valves and a new cylinder head. And in the worst case, perhaps even a new engine, which of course is very expensive. The biggest problem is that normally there's absolutely no warning that it's going to happen. Although manufacturers specify when cam belts should be changed, some viewers have found to their cost just what happens when they break. Melanie Price from Warwick has a 5-year-old Citroën ZX. In August 1996, the cam belt failed after the car had covered just 31,000 miles. So what sort of damage did it do?
It actually caused 2 of the valves to be bent and all the valve stems had to be replaced because of the impact of the belt snapping.
That sounds expensive.
It was expensive, £500, and I actually contacted Citroën to see if they would sort of reimburse some of the money. They weren't in the least bit interested. They just said it was a freak accident.
But was it your fault? Should you have changed the belt?
Well, the car had only done 31,000 miles, and you're not actually supposed to change the cam belt before 48,000. Unfortunately, with the cam belt, you can't actually check how it's wearing in between times. And it had been regularly serviced every 6,000 miles.
And this is the main problem. Citroën recommends that under normal driving conditions, you should change your cam belt at 72,000 miles. The Haynes manual recommends 48,000. So who's right? This problem isn't confined to one make of car. David Price from Walsall also experienced cam belt failure on his Rover 420, well before the manufacturer's recommended change time. What sort of damage did it do?
About £1,200 worth of damage to the engine.
Now that's an awful lot. Were you surprised at that?
Very, very surprised. The car had only done 27,000 miles.
But then surely you should have changed the cam belt so that didn't happen.
It's not due for changing to 48,000 miles.
So you were left with a very big bill.
Very big bill, yes.
Luckily, Rover paid for most of the damage. You may not be so fortunate. Every year, the AA rescues 65,000 of us when our cam belts conk out.
Normally, if the cam belt goes before the recommended interval, there's normally a reason for it. It's been contaminated, over-tightened, under-tightened, or it could be in a component failure.
So here's a few tips. Get your cam belt checked regularly, particularly if you drive hard. When buying second-hand, find out when and if the cam belt has ever been changed. If in doubt, change the belt. Treat official recommendations with skepticism. And if the cam belt does fail on your low-mileage car, write to the manufacturers. But why should drivers have to complain about a cam belt failure? Surely it's up to manufacturers to make sure that they write clearly in their handbooks exactly when you should change the cam belt, erring on the side of caution, and also making it clear what the consequences are if the cam belt does fail. Until that happens, prevention rather than cure is the best option.